Roll call right now finds everybody here except the mayor of St. Cloud. Any additions or changes to the agenda?
No.
All right, somebody want to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Consent agenda item.
Motion approved.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Is there anyone here for open forum or on the internet? Anyone open forum?
No.
All right. General business, presentation by Bergen KDV of fiscal year 2023 preliminary audited financial statements.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'd like to introduce Caroline Stutzman. She's with KDV. Bergen KDV, our auditors for 2023. We've had a good audit, and I'd just like you to introduce Caroline. She's here remotely for us.
All right.
Good afternoon. As Paula mentioned, I'm Caroline Stutzman. I am the partner involved in your audit. So I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to go through the results of that. Are you wanting me to share my screen? Is that the best route to go with this?
Yep,
To
that'd be
share
the
the
best.
PowerPoint?
Yes.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Right. Well, the main reason you asked us to work with you is to provide an opinion on the financial statements. That opinion is housed within the independent auditor's report. So both management's responsibility as well as our responsibilities are also included in that independent auditor's report. And management's responsibility is for the fair presentation and preparation of these financial statements in accordance with GAAP. Really what that means is that management is responsible for determining the numbers that are all throughout the financial statements. Our responsibility then is to conduct our audit and provide the opinion based on our audit. So a line drawn in the sand, if you will. We aren't allowed to do both of those pieces. The opinion that we're providing is what's called an unmodified opinion. That's the highest level that you can receive and not a change from previous years, and meaning we believe that the financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects as of September 30th, 2023. As in the past few years, we do still have the pension item that is open just because we're depending on or because of the timing of when that is issued for you. You would notice a few highlights in the report. That will all be taken care of as soon as that information is available and we're able to complete that portion of the audit. So I just wanted to touch on that piece. Outside of looking at the numbers as we go throughout our process, we also conducted our audit in accordance with government auditing standards. That requires us to consider internal controls as we go throughout that process. One item noted in regards to lack of segregation of accounting duties, that is just inherently present for the amount of staff that you have and the duties that overlap, common for that finding to be present from an internal control standpoint. An additional component of the audit is in regards to uniform guidance. So because you spent more than $750,000 worth of federal funding during the year, a single audit is warranted. So that term probably sounds a little more familiar than the uniform guidance. So the program that was tested was Federal Transit Cluster. Back to kind of just that one, last year there were a couple because of the additional COVID funding. So just the one this year, and no findings related to any of that additional testing either. And one final component before we look at some of the financial analysis is in regards to Minnesota legal compliance. The Office of the State Auditor puts together a number of checklists where they ask us to ask a number of questions about state statutes, and we do not currently have any findings related to that either. So with that, we'll jump into the financial analysis, and we start here just looking at where inventory balances or levels have been over the 5 years. I'm showing just a slight increase in that inventory for fiscal year 23. Next, we have revenues by source. So this is operating revenues. It does not include capital. And so operating revenues increased just under $1.5 million for the year. Taxes increased with an increase in the capital related portion of the levy. State grants increased. There was larger fixed route and dial-a-ride state grants that were available during 2023. And then other revenue also increased. So that's kind of everything else outside of those items that are listed there. And really the main driver in that category is interest. And so market conditions were better at the end of this year than previous year, and really just showing the change there. Pretty consistent theme that we've seen across our audits this year. Here we have total revenues and total expenditures. We touched on revenue already. Now this chart includes everything. So capital is included here as well. So we already touched on the operating side of things. Capital grants and contributions actually decreased this year. So in total, all revenues together increased 1.1 million. On the expense thing, seeing an increase there, about 1.3 million. That really has to do mostly with salaries and benefits. We have a summary of cash as well as some of the equity positions that you have. So the very top one there is net position, total net position. So seeing an increase there for the year. And then we have some of the components below that. The next one down is net investment, the gray. That's net investment in capital assets. And you saw an increase there, or excuse me, a decrease there with depreciation expense exceeding the additions for the year. A nice increase in cash in the blue bar. And then seeing this green bar is unassigned net position. So on the next chart, we're going to look at some of the assigned components that you have where you internally set dollars aside for future projects or plans or things that you are intending to need to put your dollars towards. So this is everything else not related to the assigned portion, and that unassigned increased by 1.4 million. And so here we have all of those assignments that you've internally earmarked for things, as I mentioned, that you know are on the horizon, so planning ahead for those purchases. Seeing the increase happening mostly in the assigned for fixed assets. This graph takes a look at capital expenditures, so seeing the decrease this year really just has to do with slower project year as well as having some software development projects going on in 2022. Here we have operating revenues presented in a pie chart format. Really, the main change we touched on a little bit earlier already was that the levy increased more on the capital asset side of things, or asset capital related side of things, and so seeing kind of a shift from this year to last year in that regard between operations levy and fixed assets levy. Absent that, most of your percentages that you're seeing here fluctuated less than or 1%, so pretty consistent from that perspective outside of that one little piece. We have a similar presentation here for operating expenses, and similar story, pretty consistent spending year over year across the departments. Your fluctuation is, like I said, 1% or right in that range. So seeing a little bit of an increase on the fixed road and dial-a-ride transit operations, but overall pretty consistent. Happy to take any questions.
Oh, that was your time limit.
That was the time limit. Yeah, that's it.
He meant the. Any questions? Sorry, I'm late. I was expecting Mayor to be done before. Gave 5 minutes. I figured that was all it would take.
It was close.
That's right.
But no, any questions? Thanks for the report. Questions from members?
You're welcome. Great.
No.
Okay.
Thanks for
Well,
having me tonight. Have a good rest of your night.
you too.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on then to department updates.
Yep.
I'll just do my once a year update. I'll keep it short and sweet.
Once a year.
Get everybody else.
Seems like every month, doesn't it?
Well, no, I just wanted to talk to you. Now we're at the end of the year now for 2023, and as we plan for 2024, just a couple of things that Metrobus is excited about and as we prepare. So first off, the ridership, as you're aware in your packet, you'll notice that the ridership has increased month after month. So month ending November, ridership now total, we're at 12% increase in ridership. So that breaks down to about 2,000 rides per month across our modes between dollar ride and fixed route compared to 2022. So we're happy to see that increase in ridership. And with the long range plan, the project which is underway, the Metrobus Forward plan, we're hopeful once this plan is complete that the way that we reevaluate and the way that we reroute our services will even increase more ridership and have more people utilizing our services. So we're excited about that. We already started the stakeholder engagement process. Kurt Hunstiger actually was able to come to one of our stakeholder meetings, and we had a great experience. We spent a half a day just talking about Metrobus Forward. We had maps, we had pie charts, graphs. It was a really interactive experience for the citizens and for the stakeholders who were in the room as we work with the consultants on how best we could plan to meet the needs of our community. So that project is underway. They have the information. They're still working behind the scenes, and as we go into 2024, hopefully by the same time next year, we'll have a completed plan that we could come to the board for discussion and potential implementation. And the fare study is also going to be part of that plan too as well. Our fares have been the same now for quite some time, and part of the long range plan, we have to reevaluate our fares to make sure that we are being equitable across the board. We're looking at how we structure our fare system, our disabled fares versus our full fares, school fares, everything that encompasses a fare study. So once that project is complete, that will be tied in to our long-range plans report too as well. In addition to that, union negotiations, we settled on one contract with ASME. We're still negotiating now with Teamsters, and we're hopeful that next month at our next board meeting, we're hopeful that we would hopefully have a agreement in place. Am I allowed to say that? Yeah. Yeah, hopeful, so fingers crossed. Yeah, right now, we had about 15 meetings so far, and we're getting closer to the finish line. So we just keep our fingers crossed now. We think we're at it right now, so we'll keep you posted, and then we'll let you know at our next board meeting. Well, you'll know if we have a vote in place, then you know that we were successful, so fingers crossed there. And then also, just recently, we had the Jolly Charlie food drive, and I see Nate is in the room, so I don't want to steal your thunder, Nate, but if I may, I'll just talk high level about the results. This year was a very successful year for the Jolly Charlie. I think this is I know that we actually outdid ourselves. So in 13-year history of the Jolly Charlie, this time we collected over $4,484 just in cash donations, and we received over 12,000 pounds in food. So this is a record year for us. So just like to thank Nate and the team for spearheading this effort. We had a lot of radio ads, a lot of radio communication, a lot of external communication. We have our partners that we partner with, Town Square Media, Roy Tire, which is now called Pompo's Tires.
Pomps Tires.
Pomps Tires, thank you. It's now called Pomps Tires. We had pizza every night. It was great. We partnered with Lunds and Biley's. We partnered with Coburn and Sauk Rapids, and we also partnered with Coburn's and Cooper Avenue. Those are the 3 locations that we partnered with this year, and it's been a success. In the past, we used to go to 5 locations, but now we shorten it and then we get more money. So I don't know if that's a good thing. You know, you do less work and get more money instead of doing more work.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing, right? So I'm really excited about that. And then also too, the donations that we donate. So we donate to Promise Neighborhood, Salvation Army, and Catholic Charities. And they are all ever so grateful for our partnership and for the donations that they receive. Because now they are able to make a difference in their customers' lives just based on our contributions of the Jolly Charlie. So we're real happy for that partnership and happy to see that each year we keep raising the bar and we keep outdoing ourselves. So really excited to see what next year brings. And with that, that's pretty much it. We look forward to 2024, successful year, 2 contracts to be settled. Long range plan is where our big excitement lies right now. We have a couple capital projects underway, They're waiting for some new buses. We're gonna be partnering with New Flyer for our buses, but our biggest thing right now is the long-range plan, because we're excited to see how best we could meet the needs of our community here, one person at a time, and each one of you guys is areas that you guys represent. So we're looking forward to that, and we just can't wait.
Great.
How's that? Short and sweet?
There you go.
I could go on, but I know it's happy hour now, so I shouldn't say that. Yeah, but any questions if you guys have
Any other questions from anybody?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. Well, with that, I'd take an opportunity to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and safe travels to everybody, and as we finish out the year. Thanks for all the staff and everybody for all the work in 2023. Look forward to next year.
Yeah, next year.
So,
Thank you.
your motion,
Who did adjourn?
Second.
seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 4:16.
All right.